That was the next thing I was going to ask you about. Is you last we were speaking, you were talking about that you were in the lifestyle well before you were in the adult video world. I was like 1 month separate between the two. I stumbled onto adult video and learned about bondage, and very shortly after found the community and have been active in both since.
Oh, wow, okay,
But you were in the lifestyle first.
Long time. I've been in the lifestyle definitely well over 15 years or so. Kind of going back towards the strip club environment of there are a lot of girls within the club that I ended up working in that also were very familiar with the dungeons in the town that I was from and stuff, and so that kind of opened up a door. And the idea of I came from a slightly vanilla viewpoint on you shouldn't choke a girl, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, to then realize the difference of opinion against it, in that for some people things like that, actions like that, are therapeutic and actually help people like come to terms with themselves or make themselves feel better and stuff, like in many different ways and stuff. So I've been around definitely for over 15 years.
So what is a positive thing that you notice coming from the lifestyle into adult video? What is one thing that you feel like adult video is doing well that they gained from the lifestyle?
An openness of the freedom for perform, because there is a lack of judgment on each other. We're even still within the lifestyle. There can be judgment placed upon different individuals or so that make you feel like that you are shunned in some way or so. That I've noticed within porn, there is an openness of, if you like to be peed on, that's fine. Yeah. As long as you do it, as long as you have the education of knowing to filter out your system beforehand, like it's
take the appropriate steps, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing.
It's fine. It's okay. Nobody's going to judge you or so. That I loved within that. I love the fact that people openly talk about what they're interested in, or openly talk about actions that they, and at the same time they also have that knowledge from their own past experiences or so to realize like what is good and what is bad. And so that's one thing I think was definitely a positive that has really attracted me towards a lot of great friendships within the porn community. I made a decision to be public about my interest. And that's coming from the fact of, yes, I know that there are people who still need to hide for whatever reason, for work reasons or for family reasons or so. I come from a really great family that accepts me for who I am as opposed to what I'm interested in. So my family even knows about my interests. So I think within the opposite of going the positive that can be gained from porn to likewise is just that openness of being able to fully express myself and to be the performer that I want to be, whether it be in porn, magic, wrestling, whatever or so. It allows me that openness to say I get to do this. I love that there's like a Starline tour
right there.
Apparently we're parked in front of somebody's famous
Somebody
house.
famous's house right there. What are the chances?
I'm going to say it's Madonna.
Sure,
Definitely
why not?
Madonna.
Why not?
Definitely Madonna. Madonna lives here.
So one of the things that I felt the fetish world brought to fetish video, and in turn fetish video brought to mainstream adult video, was powerful negotiations tools.
Yes. 100%.
And I remember when I started, there was very little in the way of crossover. You were either in BDSM or you were in mainstream porn. Yeah. And that is no longer true. Now everybody does everything.
Yeah. Everybody crosses. I mean,
but when that started, mainstream people didn't have the negotiation tools that are second nature to people who live in the BDSM lifestyle. So a lot of them ended up in situations where they got hurt, where producers, once BDSM producers realized they could hire mainstream talent, they weren't communicating well with them, and those mainstream girls got hurt or traumatized. Yeah. A lot. I lived through that. I saw it, and it horrified me. Yeah. But now we have the tools, like they have the tools that we have, and that's really good to see.
Well, I mean, it's still growing. You made the comment a few months ago or so, something along the lines about the fact of people who come from the lifestyle and go into porn have the knowledge of that ahead of time, whereas people who come from porn kind of still need to learn, or so they need, and I absolutely agree with that, and I feel like that's the world in general. No matter who you are, no matter what you're interested in, even if it's just vanilla sex, you're still part of the lifestyle in one way or another. You still fit in, because there is a whole demographic of people who just identify as vanilla sex enjoyers.
Nothing wrong with that.
And stuff. They just want missionary or doggy, and that's it. Actually, I think doggy is actually far from vanilla, but within that, I think the time frame of what we're in, whether for the protection of everybody, like, and I constantly say this all the time to like people who are either new to the lifestyle, coming into the lifestyle. Like, I'm on FetLife all the time, and if you connect with me, if you send me an email, if it's just an email saying, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'll probably not answer it right away.
Yeah.
But if you send me questions, or if you send me like concerns or so of you're new to the world and you're curious more about it, the number one thing that I pop more than anything is that the sub is always the one in control.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I've noticed that nobody learns.
Yeah.
People,
but it's crucial.
It's a failure of communication, because, and that's where the pretend doms, or the doms who, like, let's be honest, and there is the admission of, there is a very terrible group of men and women, because men also get, men subs have, I've seen it all the time, like a man being abused in the most terrible way possible, that they should not be abused.
Yeah.
And stuff. And that I want people to understand that if you are a sub, you actually have more control and you have more power over a scene or over what's going on by just saying the word stop, or whatever your agreed upon safe word is.
We always said that it's a 4-part system. The subs' needs come first.
Yes.
The dom's needs come second.
Yes.
The dom's wants come third, and the sub's wants go last.
Yeah.
that's the dom sub dynamic. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Your needs come first, then my needs, then what I want, then what you want.
Yeah. And I mean, I do feel like within the time frame of where we're at now, as opposed to the time frame kind of going back to what you were saying, as the past, what I really like about now is that, yes, there is a big influx of people who are very much interested in the lifestyle, and they're interested in BDSM. Unfortunately, I do have to say it, coming from 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
What a lot of people fail to realize, I like that the interest is there, but I hate the fact that they gain this interest from a very terrible story.
Quite rapey story, yes.
It is a very toxic and has no connection to the lifestyle whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, that, if that type of relationship was to show up at, like, let's say Sanctuary or some sort of community or so, where it becomes public knowledge to the other people, then yes, we all kind of jump in and we say, no, you guys are a toxic relationship. This is not safe. This is not good for anybody. And it's not good for us because it's bad representation.
I feel like you're right. If it's compartmentalized, right? I mean, most of the stuff that I do is dark, twisted, evil, rape, fantasy stuff on camera.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be instructional.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy, but if you take that and go, oh, that's how to really do it, then don't do that.
No. Like, find classes, like find local porn shops or so,
We'll show you how to.
And ask them, like, do they have like seminars or stuff? Like, I know here in Los Angeles, like, I send people to Pleasure Chest all the time and say, go
Pleasure Chest, Threshold, Sanctuary.
Yeah, go listen to their classes and stuff, because as long as you're getting a beginner's aspect, and hopefully within the instruction of whoever that teacher is, will be the first one to say, like, here's how a dom sub dynamic actually works.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like, don't look at 50 Shades of Grey and think that that's how it works, because it doesn't.
That's not.
Like
it shouldn't.
Yeah, the impact and everything was like, it's a great idea, but at the same time, like, the relationship between those two characters, very toxic, very bad, and never should be a part of that world.
All right. So what we're gonna try, I gotta try an experiment now. So if you don't see what happens next, that means we fucked it up and it didn't work. So let's see what happens.